A sign of what? That we should close the shutters and bar the door?
I think I found an exciting angle for Downton Abbey 3. Since the franchise is set in the early 20th century, it would make sense to wrap things up where that era officially ends. There are plenty of ways the story could continue after a new era. While we said goodbye to Maggie Smith's Lady Violet, the Crawleys welcome new family members with Tom Branson's wife Lucy and their baby. Meanwhile, Thomas Barrow stepped down as butler, meaning Mr. Carson has to train Andy Parker as his replacement. The 1930s economic struggles and looming World War II could perfectly bookend the franchise. So here we are with everything we know about the third movie. Before diving into how the Crawleys will navigate the decline of the British aristocracy in the late 1930s, let's take a look at the cast details. Downton Abbey 3 is already shaping up to bring back many beloved characters from the TV show and previous films. Of course, there's one major exception, Maggie Smith, who bid a final farewell as the Dowager Countess in a new era. Meanwhile, Matthew Goode, who played Mary's husband Henry Talbot, was unable to appear in the last film, but there's still hope that he could return this time. Fans have also been eager for Lily James to reprise her role as Lady Rose, and Downton Abbey 3 could finally make that happen. Another exciting addition is Paul Giamatti, who will be reprising his role as Cora's free-spirited brother, Harold Levinson. His return adds an interesting dynamic to the story, especially if the film explores how the American side of the Crawley family is faring during this time period. As for the film's release, Downton Abbey 3 has officially been scheduled for September 12, 2025. Focus Features is planning a wide theatrical release, much like the previous two films. Interestingly, this date comes over a year after the movie wrapped filming in August 2024, and while no specific reason has been given for the delay, it's possible the studio is aiming for a strategic release window. The first Downton Abbey film was a fall release, while A New Era arrived in May. Perhaps the studio is looking to recapture that autumn magic for the final chapter. With the Crawleys facing new challenges in an era of uncertainty, Downton Abbey 3 promises to be a fitting conclusion to the beloved saga. Whether it's navigating shifting social norms, welcoming old and new faces, or saying goodbye to the grandeur of the past, this film has all the ingredients to bring the franchise to a poignant and satisfying close. Now, let's dive into the 1930s, a decade of massive change shaped by the Great Depression, the rise of fascism, and the growing threat of war. If Downton Abbey 3 takes place during this time, it could show how the Crawley family and their household adapt to an uncertain world. The British aristocracy was already struggling to hold on to its old way of life, and with economic hardships mounting, the class system was shifting more than ever. With Britain still feeling the effects of the 1929 Wall Street crash, the film could explore how financial struggles impact Downton and its staff. Meanwhile, the rise of Adolf Hitler and Nazi Germany would cast a dark cloud over Europe, leading up to the outbreak of World War II in 1939. Since Downton Abbey has always been deeply tied to historical events, it would make perfect sense for the final installment to end with the world on the brink of another war, mirroring how the first season began in the aftermath of the Titanic disaster and led into World War I. The story could also highlight how the younger generation of Crawleys, particularly Tom Branson, navigate the rapidly changing political landscape. With tradition clashing against modern ideals, they'd have to find their place in a world that no longer operates the way their ancestors did. If the film chooses to include major historical moments like King George VI and Queen Elizabeth's 1939 royal tour, or the preparations to evacuate children and families before the war, it could be a powerful way to close out the series, signaling both the end of an era and the dawn of an uncertain future. Another compelling angle for Downton Abbey 3 would be how the Crawleys adapt to the decline of the British aristocracy in the late 1930s. The interwar period saw many grand estates being sold off or repurposed due to rising costs and economic strain. While the Crawleys have fought to preserve Downton through changing times, this decade presents an even greater challenge. Would they be able to hold on to their ancestral home, or would they be forced to make difficult choices, as many noble families did during this era? For the household staff, Downton Abbey 3 could explore the continuing shift away from traditional service roles. With more opportunities emerging outside domestic work, younger servants might aspire to different careers, leading to the possible closure or downsizing of the once bustling servant quarters. Characters like Daisy and Andy could be at the forefront of this change, embracing modern professions, while longtime figures like Mr. Carson and Mrs. Hughes struggle with the loss of an era they devoted their lives to. The international tensions leading up to World War II could also deeply affect the characters on a personal level. Tom Branson, an Irish nationalist at heart, might find himself grappling with Ireland's neutrality in the upcoming conflict. Meanwhile, Lady Edith, as the publisher of the sketch, could use her influence to address the political climate, perhaps foreshadowing the role of media in shaping public opinion about the war. For the younger generation, World War II would be inescapable. George Crawley, the heir to Downton, would be of an age where he might eventually enlist, echoing the experiences of his grandfather and great-uncles in World War I. Meanwhile, Sibby Branson, raised with both aristocratic and working-class influences, might challenge traditional expectations, choosing a different path entirely. If Downton Abbey aims for a truly dramatic and historical ending, it could culminate with Britain's declaration of war on Germany in September 1939. This would serve as a powerful bookend to the franchise, mirroring the series' origins in the shadow of the First World War and signifying the close of the Crawleys' defining era. One more thing we know about Downton Abbey 3 is that it will honor Maggie Smith's incredible legacy, even though she won't be appearing in the film. According to Hugh Bonneville, who played her on-screen son, the movie will serve as a great lasting tribute to her, though he didn't share specific details on how. Dame Maggie Smith sadly passed away in late September 2024, just a month after filming wrapped. Bonneville reflected on the significance of the upcoming film, saying, "We finished a third, and I think probably final, Downton Abbey film this summer, which will come out next September. That is a wonderful sort of closing off of all the stories, so it's a proper film for the fans. It's very much set in the house and saying goodbye to all these characters, and we obviously say goodbye to Dame Maggie, which was very poignant on screen and now in real life. She'll be sorely missed, but the final film will obviously be a great lasting tribute to her. Her presence as the sharp-witted Dowager Countess has been at the heart of Downton Abbey since the very beginning, and while the franchise said its farewell to Lady Violet in a new era, this third film will likely ensure she is honored in a fitting and emotional way. And that wraps up today's video. If you want to stay in the loop with all the latest movie and series news, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a big thumbs up. I'll be bringing you more updates on the Downton Abbey franchise even after this third movie, plus all the latest news on some of your other favorite films and series. Stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next one.